Have you ever wondered what the strangest and most unbelievable laws around the world are? From being obese, drinking a Red Bull, to owning cats, each of these rules has an intriguing story behind it, reflecting unique cultural norms and priorities. Get ready for a fascinating journey through the most bizarre prohibitions you can imagine. Today, we're going to explore a list of restrictions that will challenge your understanding and reveal curious aspects of how different cultures and governments maintain order and regulate behavior. But stay tuned because the last prohibition is the strangest of all and comes straight from Brazil. It's so unusual that it will challenge everything you thought you knew about legal restrictions. Don't miss the chance to discover this unique curiosity that will leave you speechless. Stick with us until the end so you don't miss this incredible and surprising revelation. Japan being obese. In Japan, a country known for its discipline and health standards, obesity is not just discouraged, it's also regulated by law. Imagine a nation where simply having an abdominal circumference above the allowed limit might seem unbelievable to many. The so-called imitabo law mandates that men and women must keep their measurements within certain limits. This isn't just a cultural curiosity, it's a strictly enforced measure. The idea behind this law is to promote a healthy lifestyle and prevent diseases related to being overweight. It may seem extreme, but it's rooted in a concern for public health. Companies are responsible for measuring their employees' waistlines annually, and if someone exceeds the limits, they are advised to join weight loss programs. Can you be jailed? Not exactly, but companies can indeed face fines if they don't comply with the guidelines. For visitors to Japan, this might seem like an incredible curiosity. However, for the Japanese, it's part of a national effort to reduce healthcare costs and increase the population's longevity. If you're thinking of visiting Japan, it might be a good idea to check your waistline before boarding your flight. Cuba, Coca-Cola. In Cuba, the land of rum and cigars, one of the world's most iconic products is, surprisingly, banned, Coca-Cola. Since the Cuban Revolution and the commercial embargo imposed by the United States, the famous fizzy drink has disappeared from the island's shelves. For many, it's hard to imagine a country where Coca-Cola isn't available in supermarkets. This absence is more than just a prohibition, it's a symbol of the political tensions that have shaped the country's recent history. The curiosity here is that even with the ban, there are alternative versions of the drink, produced locally, that attempt to mimic Coca-Cola's flavor. However, for Cubans, none of them compare to the original. And for tourists, finding a can of Coca-Cola can be nearly impossible. This situation creates a sort of fascination and mystery around the drink, making it a coveted item for many. Besides Coca-Cola alternatives, local beverages like Tucola, de Ciego Montero, and, of course, the famous Cuban rum, are extremely popular and widely consumed. Furthermore, it's important to consider that Cuba is a country with an extremely poor population where communism still prevails. In this context, even if Coca-Cola were allowed, it would be unimaginable for many Cubans to afford it due to its high cost. The state-controlled economy and low wages make the acquisition of imported goods a true luxury, inaccessible to most of the population. For those visiting Cuba, living without Coca-Cola may seem surreal. But it's also an opportunity to immerse yourself in the local culture and try alternatives you wouldn't find anywhere else. Tasting a mojito or a Cuba Libre made with authentic rum is a unique experience. Denmark fortified foods. In Denmark, one of the most progressive and healthiest countries in the world, there's a curious ban on fortified foods. Products containing high levels of vitamins and minerals are strictly regulated and, in many cases, banned. The logic behind this measure is to protect the population from possible adverse effects caused by excessive consumption of certain nutrients. Imagine foods that are promoted as a superfoods or health fortified, in many countries being viewed with caution in Denmark. Products like fortified breakfast cereals, energy drinks, and even enriched bread can be banned if they contain nutrient levels that exceed the limits set by Danish authorities. For example, well-known brands of breakfast cereals like Kellogg's All Bran and Rice Krispies, which are common in many countries, have faced restrictions due to their high vitamin and mineral content. Other examples include energy drinks like Red Bull, which contain high levels of taurine and caffeine. Margarines enriched with high levels of vitamins A and D. Fortified cereal bars with added vitamins and minerals. Milk fortified with added calcium and vitamin D. For visitors, this ban can be quite surprising. Many come to the country expecting to find the same healthy food options available in their home countries, only to discover that Denmark adopts a much more conservative and regulated approach. This policy reflects the emphasis placed by the Danish government on food safety and the well-being of the population, avoiding potential risks associated with excessive vitamin and mineral intake. North Korea criminal family. In North Korea, an unbelievable practice is punishing not just the criminal but their entire family. That's right, you can be imprisoned simply for being related to someone who committed a crime. This brutal policy is designed to deter any attempt at dissent or transgression. Imagine the psychological pressure of living in an environment where one family member's mistake could ruin the lives of everyone around them. This system of guilt by association is a curiosity that leaves the world baffled. The idea is that by punishing the whole family, a collective incentive is created for everyone to behave within the strict standards set by the regime. Picture a mother, father, siblings, all living with the constant fear that any misstep could lead them to prison. This social control is a powerful and terrifying tool. Moreover, collective punishment isn't limited to serious crimes. Even minor acts considered dissident, like criticizing the government, can lead to family imprisonment. This type of extreme control is one of the many examples of how life in North Korea is radically different from what we know. And the most impressive part is how these incredible stories remain shrouded in mystery due to the country's isolation. Canada baby walkers. In Canada, one of the most unbelievable curiosities is the ban on baby walkers. That's right, you can be fined if you use a baby walker for your child. This measure was adopted due to the high number of accidents and injuries involving babies who used these devices. The Canadian government decided that children's safety was more important than parents' convenience, leading to a total ban. Imagine new parents' surprise when they discover that a common item in many countries is illegal in Canada. Baby walkers, which help babies learn to walk, were considered dangerous after numerous studies showed they increased the risk of falls and accidents. Therefore, in Canada, the recommendation is for parents to encourage babies to develop their motor skills naturally, without the aid of walkers. For those unfamiliar with this rule, it's essential to know that the importation, sale, and use of baby walkers are strictly prohibited. This not only prevents accidents but also promotes a safer environment for child development. This ban demonstrates the proactive approach of the Canadian government regarding children's safety, prioritizing their physical integrity above all else. Awareness of the risks associated with baby walkers is an example of how public policies can influence parenting practices. So, if you plan to raise your child in Canada, it's best to leave baby walkers off your shopping list. Adopting this preventive stance might seem strange to many, but it serves a clear and justified purpose. Children's safety should always come first, and this rule, as curious as it may seem, reflects a serious commitment to protecting infants. Undoubtedly, a Canadian peculiarity that surprises and teaches us about the importance of prioritizing child welfare. Norway cats. In Norway, a curious and, for many, unbelievable prohibition is the restriction on owning certain breeds of cats. Yes, you can be fined if caught with a prohibited cat breed. This measure was implemented to protect local biodiversity and prevent the spread of diseases that could affect native wildlife. Norwegian authorities are quite strict about these laws to ensure the preservation of the ecosystem. Imagine a cat lover's surprise when they discover that their favorite breed is illegal in Norway. Breeds like the Bengal and Savannah, known for their exotic appearance and active temperament, are on the list of banned cats. The reasoning is that these breeds, being hybrids between domestic and wild cats, could pose a threat to the ecological balance. So, before bringing your exotic feline to Norway, it's essential to check if it's allowed. Moreover, this prohibition aims to prevent indiscriminate breeding of these breeds, which can lead to genetic health problems and animal suffering. Norway is known for its commitment to animal welfare, and these measures reflect that concern. For those who wish to have a cat, many traditional domestic breeds are perfectly legal and well-suited to the Norwegian environment. Adopting cats from local shelters is encouraged, promoting both animal protection and local ecology. For animal lovers, these rules might seem extreme, but they demonstrate a deep respect for nature and animal health. Norway is an example of how conservation policies can be integrated into daily life, even if, at first glance, they seem draconian. This peculiarity is just one of many that make the country fascinating and teach us the importance of environmental preservation. Brazil airport for aliens. Finally, we arrive at a prohibition in Brazil that might seem unbelievable, but it's true. In Brazil, the government decided to ban the construction of an airport specifically dedicated to extraterrestrials. That's right, the idea of having an airport to welcome potential visitors from other planets was officially vetoed in 2020. The decision was made to avoid wasting public resources on projects that lack scientific basis and could be considered fanciful. The proposal for an alien airport emerged from UFO enthusiasts and groups that believed in the possibility of contact with extraterrestrial life. For many, the idea might sound absurd, but it sparked much discussion and curiosity. However, the Brazilian government chose to focus its efforts on more concrete initiatives of greater public relevance, prioritizing projects that truly meet the population's needs and have a tangible impact. Besides this peculiar prohibition, Brazil has many other laws and regulations that might seem unusual to foreign visitors. Nevertheless, the decision to block the alien airport project reflects a practical approach to resource use and priority setting. It's a clear example of how authorities can intervene to ensure that public funds are used efficiently and sensibly. So, if you plan to visit Brazil, you won't find an airport for aliens, but while exploring Brazil and its eccentricities, it's interesting to see how the country handles unconventional proposals. The prohibition of an airport for extraterrestrials is just one of many peculiarities that highlight the diversity and creativity of Brazilian culture, showing how the country maintains a pragmatic focus in its political and administrative decisions. Now that you've explored these surprising prohibitions around the world, it's impossible not to be fascinated by the diversity and peculiarity of the laws that shape life in different countries. From alien airports in Brazil to banned walkers in Canada, these curiosities aren't just about bizarre rules, but also about how cultures and governments attempt to solve specific problems and reflect their values. Take this opportunity to reflect on how these prohibitions might offer a new perspective on daily life and the challenges faced by different societies. Which of these laws caught your attention the most? Have you ever encountered an unexpected prohibition in your own life? Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. There's so much more to discover about the world and its curiosities, and we want you to stay in the loop. So, subscribe and keep following us for more fascinating discoveries. See you in the next video.